All right. Good day, grade 10. So this recorded video is a continuation uh, lesson for the topic of equation of the line. No? So we stop at knowing how to know if your line is perpendicular or parallel. All right. So before we start our session, let us have the short opening prayer. All right. So in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, we praise you and thank you for this day. Watch over us as we go about our works and studies. Help us in every ways so that we may become children you want us to be. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right. So last uh, lesson, the last lesson that will be that we had. So I will be straightforward for this time. No. So the last lesson that we had for this day is about knowing, no, knowing if the lines are perpendicular or parallel po. No. So we identify if the slopes, no, of the lines are perpendicular or equal, or parallel or equal, or they are performing a 90 degrees angle or perpendicular po. Now, alright. So for this time, alright, so let us now deal with this subject, is this lesson. All right, so this is the equation of a line. No, yes, we have the linear equation, but this time we have the equation of a line. Right? Okay. All right. So our objectives for this day is to write the equation of a line given its loop and a point on the line. Alright, and also to write the equation of a line given 2 points on the line, and write the equation of a line given its slope and y-intercept. So you are going to write the equation of all the lines given its slope and a point. Slope, the line itself and a point, and 2 points on the line, and as well as the slope and the y-intercept. Okay? Alright. So aside from that one, our objectives as well is to find the slope and the y-intercept of a line given its equation. Write the equation of a line parallel or perpendicular to a given line through a given point. So we are going to find the slope and the y-intercept, what I've mentioned a while ago. A line given its equation, no? So there is an equation. And as well as we are going to write the equation of a line parallel or perpendicular given to its point. Okay? Now, let us go back to what we discussed about slope intercept form. No? So we are to equate or write the equation of a line given its slope and a point on the line. So we could have this y is equal to mx plus b, or we have this m is the slope and b is the y-intercept, isn't it? All right. So in this time we are going to find the slope. No, we are going to write the equation of the line with the slope m is equal to b and the y-intercept is 3. Now, how are we going to write the equation of the line? No, when you have the given of 5 and negative 3 as your y-intercept. Now, first is to take the slope intercept form. This is somewhat like a formula for you, okay? So just like in advanced math, I am asking for your given formula, solution, and answer. By this time, I will be asking for your given, your equation or your slope intercept form, standard form, or point intercept form, no? So that's the one that I will be asking. and your solution and final answer. Okay? Alright, so for this time, we have the slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. Alright, so what we are going to do is replace in the m and b, we are going to replace the letter m and b by 5 and -3. So what are we going to do is to substitute. No? So we are going to replace or substitute as we said, no? So after we substitute them all, no, we are going to simplify. Okay? So our final thing for this slope and y-intercept form is y is equal to 5x minus 3. So that is your equation of the line. That's it, no? But we will be having another example with regards to this, no? So um, what if that is the only thing to write the equation of the line if you have given a slope and y-intercept. This is your y-intercept po, no? Always remember. Alright, so now we are going to find the equation of the line when you are giving a point and the slope. This is your point, the coordinates of your point and your slope. Alright, so first is to write your given. What's your given? The point and the slope. Then next is to write your form or slope-intercept form. Okay, this is the slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. Okay po? Alright. Alright, so if we have this slope-intercept form, what are we going to do is to replace all the y and m and x to their slope-intercept form. Why is it there's y and x already? Isn't it? Because last time, what we did is from your point, from your slope, no, you have the y-intercept. Ibig sabihin, y-intercept mo kanina, no, is -3. So you have -3. So that you only have -3 and 1 itself. But this time you have the point, which is -2 and 7. No? So what are you going to do is to replace or substitute. Okay? After you substitute that one, that will be 7 is equal to 3x plus b. Okay? Now, we are going to replace as well this -2. Bakit? Nandito. We have the point of -2 and 7. Isn't it? Now, after that one, we are going to find what is your b. Okay? To solve for b. Okay? Now, if we are going to solve for b, the answer for b is we have 13. Why is it 13? From here, we multiply 2 to 3. So it became -6. And we transfer to the other side, the -6. That's why it changed signs. That's why it became positive. So therefore, if we add 7 plus 6, they are 13 po. No? Alright. So having the 13 itself, no? Having 13 itself from your equation, what you're going to do is to replace the m and b from your slope-intercept form. Okay, so what is your slope-intercept form? Your slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. Then you are going to replace m and b, no? Because you now have your b, no? So the final answer will be y is equal to 3x plus 13 po. Okay po? Alright, so that is the final answer. Now, this is the next thing. Right, we are going to write an equation of the line through the 2 points. This is the thing, a while ago I already mentioned what are the things that we are going to find, no? So we are to find the equation of the line through these 2 points, okay? So first is negative 1, 2, negative 1 and 2, and the other point or point 2 is 5 and 7. So how are we going to identify what is our equation of the line? What is our equation of the line? We could have the slope-intercept form, or y is equal to mx plus b. Isn't it? Alright, so we're going to find m and b. Okay? So from this part, we are now having the formula for m. Isn't it that the formula of m here is only the delta y over delta x because they have the change. Change in y and change in x. Okay? So if we have this formula already, what are we going to do? We are going to substitute all the givens to the formula itself. So what's your x sub 1? X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Okay? Now, you have the givens, no? What you're going to do is to replace or to substitute all the given for your formula. Now, you have substituted it already. What are you going to do is to simplify. So, your m is now 5 over 6 na. Now, plug into y, m, and x into slope-intercept form. Now, this is the thing, Sir Jai. Use either x or y point. Now, in your slope-intercept form, you have y is equal to mx plus b. So, what are you going to do here is to input all the points that you have. No? So, first is 2 is equal to 5 over 6 times or multiplied by negative 1 plus b. Now, as you notice, we substitute the value of m to here. That's why it became 5 over 6. And b stays the same. And as you notice, there is changes in your y and in your x. Ito po, no? Alright? So, now my question is, Sir, why did we choose this point? Of course, this is the point no, that we substituted. No? Now, why did we choose that point? Most likely, no, we use often the first point always. No? First point. Okay? So, take that in mind na. First point. But in any cases, that is just similar to what are you going to do for your second point. Okay? But in your part, for you to have this easy formulation, always to use the first point. Okay? So when we are going to to use the first point, we are going to have 2 is equal to 5 over 6 multiplied by negative 1 plus b. Okay, so this is your y, this is your x po. Okay, now what are we going to do is we are going to find the value of b, or we are going to solve for b. Ayan. So when we solve b, then your positive 5 over 6 will become negative 5 over 6. And in that case, we are going to find only b. That's why we are going to diminish this 5, 6. No? So are we going to diminish? Are we going to divide that one for 5, 6? No, we are not. So what are we going to do is to transfer this fraction to the other side. So if we transfer this fraction to the other side, it will become positive. Oh, why it becomes positive? Because the fraction itself, the sign of this fraction is negative. So if we transfer to the other side, that will become a positive. So it will become 2 plus 5 over 6 is equal to b. No? So in this case, the value of b will not be 2 and 5, 6 po. No? Yes, in fraction, if we add them, it is somehow like that. But in our case, no, because we are finding for the slope and knowing that the slope only contains rise over run or numerator and denominator, no, knowing that that's the only thing that we have, Therefore, what are we going to do is from mixed fraction uh, we are going to turn this mixed fraction to improper fraction. Oh, how are we going to change that one to improper fraction? First is to multiply this whole number in denominator. Then, whatever the product, you will be adding to the numerator po. No? So, if you multiply 2 to 6, the answer will be 12. And 12 plus 5, the answer will be 17. Therefore, the final answer for B will be 17 over 6. O, 6 ha, remain. The denominator will remain there po. Okay? Alright, so your B will now 17 over 6 po. Alright. So, now we have B and M, okay, which is 5 over 6. Now we could say that we could write the equation. Now, how are we going to write the equation? We are going to replace the M and B to your slope-intercept form. No? So this will be your final answer. This is your M and this is your B. No? So the slope-intercept form is Y is equal to MX plus B. No? Only replace the M and the B. Okay po? Alright. So, from the horizontal and vertical lines, no? Always remember that if A is a constant, the vertical line through A and B has the equation of x is equal to A. No, if you will remember, from this part, we consider that this is your x-intercept, and for this part, this will be your y-intercept, no? Because they are x and y's. Okay po? Alright. So, if you are going to input that one, we have A and B, no? Alright, so if that will be your vertical po. Okay? Alright, so if you have, this is the case, if you have B, no? If B is a constant, the horizontal line, no? Through A and B has the equation of B is y is equal to B. Okay? So yan siya. Yan lang yun, horizontal po. Okay? Why? Why is it like that? From vertical, you only have the x-intercept form, and most likely, if you only have the value of x, most likely, for example, you have the givens of 2. Your x-intercept is 2. X is equal to 2. Are we going to input that line? Diba? So, you have only the x-intercept form, and as well as for the horizontal form. Okay po? Alright. So, we are to write the equation of the line, okay, through 8 and -2 when the slope is 0. Paano yun? How are we going to do that line? Do that one? Always remember, no? If there are two things, no, we could consider. If the slope is 0 and the slope is undefined. Alright, so take note that the slope is 0. So it means the line is what? Horizontal. So how is that one? Isn't it that we say that if the line is 0, okay, we could say that that is horizontal. So if that's the case, slope is 0, only horizontal, what are we going to have? What are we going to have in your equation? Of course, that's your y is equal to mx plus d, right? Mx plus d. Okay? So, if your slope is 0, of course, if you will substitute the value of m, of course, the x will be 0 as well. So, 0 plus b, that's the case, isn't it? So, your y is equal to b only. Okay, so you have the y-intercept form. Your y-intercept, isn't it? The only thing that will be left is your y-intercept. And in that case, what is your y-intercept? Isn't it? A while ago, I just told you that this is your x-intercept and this is your y-intercept. Now, how is that one? What is your slope or your equation? The equation of the line will be y is equal to negative 2. Gets already? See? So we will not be getting the 8 already because we now know that y is equal to 2 when the slope is 0, knowing that it is on horizontal line po. Okay? Alright. Now, we are to find the slope and the y-intercept of this equation po. No? So what are we going to do here is to find or to solve for the y. No? Alright, so from there, we could be able to know what will be the answer po. No? So it's not on standard form, either in the general form and either for the slope intercept form, because that is just a simple linear equation. Okay? Now, we are to find, okay, we're going to solve for y and we'll be able to read it from the answer po. So how are we going to read it po? Okay? So from 2x minus 5y is equal to 1, what are we going to do with that one? So most of you were going to transfer all, no? So it will become negative 5y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. Then what you're going to do is to multiply negative 1. So for you to have this easy computation, what you're going to do is to just simply transfer this negative 5 to the other side. So the answer will be 2x minus 1 is equal to 5y. No? So your y will be positive already. Or either way, no? You could simply say that 5y is equal to 2x minus 1. They're just the same, diba? They're still equal, isn't it? Even you change places, this two, even if you interchange them, they're still equal, isn't it? Alright, so the only thing matters is that we simply transfer the 5y because it is easy for us to compute, no? Alright, so having this givens, no? What are we going to do is to simply remove 5 because we are going to solve for 5. And therefore, why is it divided by 5 by all of that one? Why is it divided by 5? Hmm. Of course, what are we going to do here is divide. Y it becomes 2 over 5x minus 1 5 is equal to y. Now, this is the explanation ha. Maybe you'll get shocked. From 5y is equal to 2x minus 1. In order for us to diminish this 5 in this part and the other part, we're going to multiply this one to negative 5. We're going to multiply that one to 1/5. Both sides po, no, left and right. So if you are going to multiply, of course, this will be 5y over 5, isn't it? And this part will become transfer and transfer. That's why it becomes 2x over 5 minus 1 over 5. Isn't it? Oh, di ba? Now you know it, ha? And when you're transferring, it will not become just like this, ha? 2x minus 1 over 5. It's not like that one po. Okay? So if you're going to transfer this one, okay? It should be transferred uh, through each constants that you have po. Okay? Not for the full. Okay? Alright. So, let me erase. Right? Distributing this 1/5, it turns out that you have y is equal to 2/5 x minus 1/5. Okay? Now, we could see, or we could clearly see that your slope is 2/5, isn't it? And your y-intercept is negative 1/5. Okay po? This is the only thing, ha. The only thing that I am saying is when you are going to find with your y-intercept, just cover this x. Isn't it? Oh, so you have one two. So that's the only thing. Okay. All right. So next, Write an equation of for the line through 5, 7, which is parallel to 2x minus 5y is equal to 15. Alright, so first things first, we're going to write the given. Alright, so your givens are 2x minus 5y is equal to 15. What we're going to do here first is what? To alternate the places of these two. Why? Why? You know the y-intercept that you have, or y that you have is negative. So therefore, you just change here, and you are going to remove this one, no, to the other place, no. All right. All right. So change places. Okay. So it will become 2x minus 15 is equal to 5y, isn't it? Alright, so we are going to remove once again the 5. So we multiply by 1/5. Okay, we multiply that one by 1/5. That's why we distribute the 1/5 by the operation itself and to this part. So that's why it became 5y over 5, and this one is equal to 2x over 5 minus 15/5. Or when we simplify this one, we could have 2/5 x minus 3 is equal to y. So our slope, we could say, therefore, our slope is 2/5 po. Okay po? Alright, so, now, we could say that our slope is 2/5, no? Alright, and we know our point. We solved this one already. The point and the slope, isn't it? Now, what are we going to do is to to show what is your slope-intercept formula, isn't it? You have the given, forms, solution, and answer po. So, having your slope-intercept, it is your y is equal to mx plus b, isn't it? Then, having this slope-intercept form, what are you going to do is to substitute that all the givens that you have, which is your points and your slope. Okay? Alright. So what is your point? Your point is 5 and 7. You replace the 5 and 7 to that x and y. So this is your x and this is your y. So it's y is equal to mx x plus b, isn't it? Alright, so from here your m is 2/5. That's why it becomes 2/5. Alright, so from here, what are you going to do is to solve for your b because you don't have b yet, isn't it? Now, if we multiply 5 to your 2, it will become 10 over 5, isn't it? And this will become 7. Alright, plus 2. Alright, so if we divide 10 by 5, the answer will be 2, isn't it? And from this part, what we only need is b. That's why we are going to transfer this 2 to the other side. That's why the positive 2 will become a negative 2 po. Okay, so that's why if we subtract 2 to your 7, no, you will be having an answer of 5. Okay po? Alright, so now we are going to substitute your slope and your y-intercept or your b, isn't it? So now you could have y is equal to 2/5 x plus 5. So this is your equation for the line. Okay po? Alright. Now, next. Write an equation for the line through 0.57, which is parallel to 2x minus 5y is equal to 15. This is the one that we have a while ago. No, so I want you to look at this presentation. Now we have the slope-intercept form, isn't it? Alright, so we have the slope-intercept form. What we're going to do in here is to have your y-intercept. What is your y-intercept po? Your y-intercept is, what I said a while ago, to cover. Don't mind, and your y-intercept a while ago is just negative 3. Or b, isn't it? Please wait, I'll just go back. Your b is 5. Okay, for example, this is your b. Your b is 5. But in this case, no, you will be seeing Hmm. This way. Also, that should be -5. Negative 5. But in our case, well, because it's typo, so let us just, for example, no, just example. Alright. Alright. So let us just say that it is -3 po. For example po, no? Now, we have the intercept. For example, this is your equation or linear equation. This is your point. Now you have your equation, no? So what we're going to have is to point the -3, no, because that is your y-intercept, and to plot the other one. Why is it because why it becomes like this one? Of course, from your slope. We go to we rise 2 or we rise twice. 1, 2. Okay. Rise over run, right? Rise over run. From this part, we are going to run 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So that's why the next point is at this point. Oh, no. So also, I want you to remember from yourself that um, in having your equation or the equation of the line, it's really important for us to know what will be your line. No? Kaya nga equation siya ng line. In order for you to know what will be your line. So, in this case also, what I said, for example, if you have the slope of 2/5, if it's positive, both positive, the alternate, because what we did in positive, the moment that we have the positive for your slope, we go upwards. But if you're going to identify what is your point in inverse, so what are you going to do is to inverse all this uh, slope that you have. This is positive, right? Isn't it that negative to negative, that will be positive as well, no? But what we're going to do is to inverse the numerator and denominator itself so that we could find our point below. So we are going down to, twice, 1, 2, and we are going run. We are running left side. Now we are going to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it is negative. Okay? Alright, so therefore we could say that we perform a line po. Okay po? Alright, so from this part, this is the one that we have a while ago. No? So our M is 2/5 still. Our Y, our Y-intercept is 5 po. Isn't it? Okay po. I had this typo a while ago. It should be the 5 first. But in anyways, I did input this one already. No? Alright, so our B here is 5. And our M is 2/5. Now you're wondering, what's the connection with this one? So let us see po, no? Alright, so I want you to focus on the presentation. Alright, so what are we going to do first is to plot the y-intercept. What is your y-intercept po? Ano po yung y-intercept? Your y-intercept is B, isn't it? So y is equal to B. Alright, that is your y-intercept. So, we're going to plot the y-intercept. So, only at your y-axis. So, that is 5. So, where is your 5? Positive 5 there. From the origin, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Alright, so from there, we have the next point. What is our next point? Our next point would be based from your slope. What is your slope? 2/5. No? So what are we going to have is this part po. Okay? Now, we move upwards 1, 2, and we move to the right because it's positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why your point is here. How about if you are going to get the point below from your y-axis or from the inverse that you did? So if you are going to get the inverse, what are you going to do is to get the inverse sign of the numerator and the denominator, which is -2 and -5. So you are going to have this point by going down twice, 1, 2, and going to the left by 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's in that case, we could see that you could have your line. Okay po? Alright, so this is the line for this equation. Now, the question is, are they parallel or not? Of course, they are parallel. Alright. Alright, so the screen po, no? So, the slope of the perpendicular, okay, the slope of the perpendicular line is the negative reciprocal of m, isn't it? Reciprocal ha, negative reciprocal. Flip it over and change the sign. So that's how. What I said, the reciprocal is just to flip the numerator and denominator. So simply flip. Okay? Then simply change the sign. Okay po? Examples of slope of perpendicular lines. This is the one that I said a while ago, said last time po. No? So 2 over 3. Okay? If we have as well 1/5. Negative 2, 2.4, okay po. Negative, okay. Negative 7 over 2. Okay po. Now, take note, okay, take note that the product of the perpendicular slopes is -1. Now, from here po, this is the thing. Now, if we have -2 over 3, what are we going to do is to flip down. We are going to flip the numerator to the denominator and change the sign. So if we are going to flip that one, we'll be having -3 over 2 or -3/2. Okay, so you can input the sign in here. Okay po, gets na po? Maybe you'll get confused because why is it on -3? No, it could be on -2. Yes, it could be, but there should be at least one sign for the numerator and the denominator. All right. How about 1/5? So we have 1/5. If you are going to flip, we will be having -5 over 1 or simply as 5. Gets po? Now, if we have -2, we flip that one to, oh, we are going to flip that one to 1/2. But before that, as you notice, any whole number, we could simply put or indicate an invisible one. No? So that it will become fraction. So if you flip that one, we are going to have, oh, negative as well, right? So it will become positive already. That's the one that I'm saying po, no? So it will become positive 1/2. Now, how about this one po? 2.4. Oh, there is a decimal places po. Oh, how is that one? How are you going to identify what is the fraction of uh, 2.4? Can you tell me what might be the fraction of 2.4? Hmm. How is that one? So, what we could do is to simply find it. For example, like testing out what are the numbers that could be part of 4 and 2. What are those numbers? We could simply say that yes, 2 and 4 are part of the 2's. We could simply say that only 2 is part of 2 and 4. But in our case, we could simply see 2 and 4 as well by having 5. How is it 5, no? So, if we have 12 over 5, no? If we have 12 over 5, if we divide that to 1, how many 5 do we have in 12? We have 2. Isn't it? Oh. If we have 2, what is the remaining? 2.5. Isn't it that in long division, this is the one, isn't it in long division, we have 12. How many 5 there are? There are 2, isn't it? So it will become 10, 2, and there is a decimal point, isn't it? So how many is that one? Is it? It is 4 po. No? Alright, so from that one, we are going to have this fraction as 2.4. Now, if we have 12 over 5, if we flip that one, it will become negative 5 over 12 po. Okay po? Now, how about negative 7 over half? If we flip that one or get the negative reciprocal, the answer will be positive 2 over 7 po. Okay po? Alright, so we could say that if we multiply these twos, we could clearly see that it it has the product of negative 1 po. Okay po? Alright, so the question is, what about the special cases? What is the slope of the line perpendicular to a horizontal line po? Okay po? Now, well, the slope of a horizontal line is 0. Okay? You know that if it's 0 or the slope, the 0 is on the numerator. Isn't it? So, what's the negative reciprocal of 0? How is that one po? If you're going to have negative reciprocal, you will be having negative 1 over 0. And in that case, no, if you know or if you saw that 0 is at your denominator, we could say that anything over 0 is undefined. Wala po. Okay po? So, the slope of the line perpendicular to our horizontal line is undefined. Okay po? Alright. So, in this case, no, we are going to write an equation in for the line through points perpendicular to this linear equation. All right, so we are going to write an equation in the line through negative 8 and 3, no, having this linear equation. So what comes first? In order for us to know what is the equation, first is to find the slope. How are we going to find the slope? First is to arrange this one into slope-intercept form, isn't it? And isolate y to find the slope. That's it. Okay? So we have 2x minus 3y is equal to 10. So if we are going to find the slope, it will become 2x is equal to 10 plus 3y. Then we transfer 10 to the other side. So it will become negative 10. No? So just like a while ago, you know this is the negative 3y. We transfer to the other side. So it will become positive. No? And we transfer 10 to the other side as well. Alright. So when we have this equation, now what are we going to do is what? To remove the 3 or diminish by 3 by multiplying both sides by 1/3. Okay? By 1/3. Alright, so if we multiply that one, multiply, we distribute this one, we will be having 2x over 3 minus 10 over 3 is equal to 3y over 3. And if you notice, we already have the slope. Isn't it? The slope will be 2/3. Okay po? Now, we know the perpendicular slope and we know what a point. No? Okay? So, if we know that this is a perpendicular, this is an equation, please wait. Now we know that we have an equation. This is the equation, no? This is the equation that we have, or linear equation that we have. We're going to find the perpendicular, no? Perpendicular slope of that one po. Ano po ba yung perpendicular? What's the perpendicular slope of this one po? The perpendicular slope of that 2 over 3 will be none other than 3, negative 3 over 2 po. Okay po? Alright. So, from the point negative 8 and 3, no? Alright. So, let us try to have the slope-intercept form and to change or to substitute the points as well as the perpendicular slope. Because from your equation, what you did is to find the slope first, isn't it? Yes, you have your equation. But what are you going to do is not to uh, have this slope or use this slope for in finding your equation, but you are going to find the perpendicular equation of this slope. Okay, so ibig sabihin, if you are going to find the equation for this slope, you are going to use this slope if you're going to find the equation of the line for that slope. But in this case, we are to find the perpendicular or the equation of that perpendicular line. Because this line, isn't it? Linear equation, or this is the line. So we are to find the perpendicular line or the equation of this line. Equation of the perpendicular line for this line. Okay? It's like this is your line 1, isn't it? So we are going to find the perpendicular line for line 1, which is line 2. Right? So we are going to find the perpendicular for line 2. This is the one that we are going to find po. Okay po? Now, using line 1, we have the slope for line 1, which is 2 over 3. That is your slope for your line 1, isn't it? So we are going to find what is your slope for line 2. Now, we could easily know what is your slope by having the negative reciprocals. This is the one, isn't it? Now, you have the slope. So you are going to find you are going to write the equation. You're going to write the equation of your perpendicular line. Yung equation daw nito. Because this equation, you can easily get that one by using this one. But the only matters is you are going to find the equation for your line 2, which is the perpendicular. Okay? Now, how to know? Having the slope-intercept form, you are going to substitute all your givens, which is your point and your perpendicular slope. Okay? So, substituting 3 as your y and negative x as your negative 8 as your x. So, as we substitute them, okay, we could simply multiply the slope to your negative 8. So if we multiply that one, it will become positive 24. Isn't it? 3 times 8, it will become 24. But it's both negative, that's why it will become positive 24. And we divide by 2, the 24. 24 divided by 2, the answer is 12. Okay po? Now, we are going to find only the b. Okay, because we already have the m, isn't it? So in finding the equation is having the slope intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. Now we now have the m, which is your perpendicular slope. We're going to find the b. So we are to transfer the 12 to the other side. So to become negative, okay? So 3 minus 12, the answer is negative 9 po. So your B will be negative 9. So the equation for your line number 2 will be none other than y is equal to negative 3 over 2x minus 9. So that will be the equation for your perpendicular line or perpendicular slope. Okay po? Now, for this graph, no? So, write an equation in standard form. Standard form po. You know the standard form ax plus by minus c po is equal to 0. So, from this time, we are going to write the equation in standard form for the line through points negative 8 and 3. No, perpendicular to 2x minus 3y is equal to 10. So, we are going to write the equation in standard form. Alright, so Now, let us try to input what is your uh, what do you call this one? What is your intercept first? Okay, so let us try to have your y-intercept, slope intercept form with this time. Okay po? Now, you have this slope intercept form. The question is this. Oh, how did we get? This is the question, huh? How did we get the intercept, or what do you call this one? How did we how are we able to know the next line po? Okay po? So let us see po. Okay, so for the other point, we will be inputting these points. Okay, can you see the points? Alright. So this is the point, and this is the point. So we'll be having this set of points that will become a line. Alright, so from this point, no, so you will be you will see that it should be in here po. Sorry ha, this way. You will be noticing that from this line, this this way, this way, this point serves as the perpendicular. Knowing how it becomes the perpendicular po, no? So let us have the y is equal to negative 3 half x minus 9. That's the thing, no? That's the one that we find a while ago. But having the equation for this, having the slope intercept form for this line, no? We could see that they have it. Ito po. Okay, ito yan. Now, how could we say that they are perpendicular as well po? Yan ang tanong. Now, how can we say that they are perpendicular? Okay, so we are having this negative 3 over 2. So, from here, we go down 1, 2, 3, and we go to the right twice. 1, 2. Negative 3 and 2. So our y-intercept is negative 9. So knowing that y-axis, no, our negative 9 goes down below, down below. So it will reach up until to the end. Okay po? Now, for this one, we could say that they are perpendicular. They perform a 90 degrees po. Isn't it? Oh, see? So, you could say that they perform in 90 degrees and they are perpendicular. Okay po? Alright. So, in summary, I would like you to get this summary po, no? So, our slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. And y is just isolated. Your m is your slope and your y-intercept is b. Or if you have your point, if you are going to input that one as your coordinate, it will become 0 and b. Isn't it? Alright, so before we have a line, we find the y-intercept form with your coordinate. Alright, 0 and b. Opo? Alright, so also, we could say that x is equal to a and y is equal to b. No? For vertical line, okay, slope is undefined, x-intercept is a and 0, and no y-intercept, okay? And for horizontal line, okay, slope is 0, y-intercept is 0 and b, and no x-intercept, no? So from this vertical line, there is no y-intercept, and for horizontal line, there is no x-intercept. All right, so before we end this part, I will be giving you a bonus special form for the totality for this line. No? So we have the general form of ax plus by minus c is equal to 0. Isn't it? That's the general form. general form or standard form, no? So also your slope intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. Most likely, for us in order for us to know what is your line, that's the definite form that you could have, which is slope intercept form. But in other cases, they also use point intercept form, which is y is equal y sub 1 minus y sub 0 is equal to m is equal to x, okay, x minus x sub 1 minus x sub 0 times b. Okay po, plus b. Alright? So it's simply like, it's just like the slope intercept form. Okay? So this is what you call point intercept form. For the thing that we did a while ago, that you have slope, then you have points. You can also use the point intercept form, but maybe it takes time for you to understand. But I would highly suggest that in your level, no, you could simply use this slope intercept form. But as my reminder, using this tree, no, it is a part of the equation of the line. Alright, so again, this is the general form or standard form. This is your slope intercept form, and this is your point intercept form. Okay po? Alright, so before we end, I would like to give thanks to everyone who are watching up until now, this moment with our recorded video lesson. And for those who are still watching this time, no, um, I would like to greet you to for having and for completing all the lesson for your calculus this first quarter. And I hope that you might get high grades in your exam as well as for the totality for your first quarter in calculus po. Ano? And for the ending for this first quarter, thank you for listening once again, grade 10, and see you next quarter. Thank you. Bye bye.